Today I'm interviewing Chris Goggin, Operations Director of Rinnai UK. Rinnai is a global leader in heating and hot water appliance manufacturing, striving for reliable and consistent quality. Over the course of this three-part interview, we will be talking about the impact of EPCs on the non-residential sector. This is part one of our three-part series with Chris.
Hi, I'm Chris Goggin and I'm the Operations Director at Rinnai UK. I'm a Fellow of the Chartered Institute of Marketing and I have a BSc in Environmental Sciences. And I've been working in the UK heating and hot water industry for over 20 years. Recently involved in the go-to-market of hydrogen-ready equipment, RDME-ready equipment and heat pump technologies. My organisation, which is Rinnai, is a global supplier of heating and hot water technologies, and what we do is we treat a building or a customer on a building level whereby we'll provide a solution to their very unique problem.
Why are non-domestic EPC reforms back in the spotlight, and what's driving the need for change?
EPCs were originally created as a simple asset rating tool, as a snapshot of a building's theoretical efficiency based upon its fabric and fixed services. This was fine 15 years ago, but the world's moved on. We now have legally binding carbon reduction targets, and the commercial sector is under immense pressure to deliver real, measurable reductions in operational energy use. The problem is that EPCs in their current form don't reflect day-to-day operation. You could have a good EPC rating that in reality still performs badly due to controls, occupancy rating, and an aging plant. And so is the reverse. Current government consultations have highlighted this gap repeatedly, and that's why EPCs are back on the table. The direction of travel with this is quite clear. We're moving towards very much performance-based metrics that reflect real-world energy usage and not the theoretical models. Now, this is majorly important for FM teams, as this shift is huge. So it will mean EPCs will stop being a one-off compliance document and become more an ongoing responsibility that needs active management, data collection, and continuous optimization.
The government has proposed raising minimum EPC standards to Band C by 2028 and Band B by 2030. What would this mean for commercial buildings, and what challenges does it create?
These proposed milestones represent a major uplift in ambition, and the reality is that a large proportion of the UK's building stock currently sits at Band D or below. So the scale of this challenge is significant. The first issue is time. 2028 is extremely close in building upgrade terms, and many organisations haven't yet mapped out what it'll take to reach Band C, let alone Band B. The second issue in this is complexity. Getting to Band C is often achievable through efficiency measures, better controls, LED upgrades, and some targeted plant improvements. But to jump from C to B is much more difficult. B will take deep interventions, replacing legacy heating systems, upgrading building fabric, upgrading ventilation, and sometimes even rethinking the entire energy strategy. So for FM teams, this creates real pressure. They'll need to think about rapidly assessing asset condition, prioritising upgrades, managing projects while keeping buildings operational, navigating the supply chain constraints, and supporting clients who may not have the budget for this level of change. But within this is also a significant opportunity. These targets create a strong business case for investment in energy efficiency and decarbonisation, and FM teams, along with manufacturers like ourselves at Rinnai, can take a leadership role in this, guiding organisations through this transition and helping them to avoid the costs and disruption from leaving things to the last minute.
If EPCs move toward performance-based models, what does that mean for FM operations day to day?
A performance-based model for an EPC fundamentally changes the role of FM. Instead of EPCs being a certificate you update every 10 years, they become a reflection of how the building is actually run. So that means FM teams become more the custodians of the business and of the building, monitoring performance data, energy consumption, carbon intensity, occupancy patterns, system efficiency and controls. So day to day, there'd be a much greater emphasis on continuous commissioning, digital monitoring and analytics, proactive maintenance, and optimization of heating, cooling, and hot water systems. So in essence, it shifts the value proposition of FM from operational excellence becomes like measurable asset. Clients will increasingly expect FM providers to deliver not just uptime and compliance, but carbon performance and energy efficiency. So in essence, this would open new doors for new services, such as shared saving agreements and data-driven maintenance strategies. So in short, EPC reforms elevates FM from a cost centre to a strategic partner for decarbonisation.
What opportunities and challenges should the FM sector prepare for as EPC reform evolves?
The opportunities are significant. EPC reforms puts FM right at the centre of the UK's net zero journey. It strengthens the business case for energy efficiency projects, it creates new revenue streams around performance optimisation, and it gives FM's teams a much stronger voice in strategic planning. But there will be challenges too. There is a clear skills gap in data and digital energy management and interpretation, data quality and interoperability between services and buildings, and these will become critical, particularly when things like smart grids become more prominent. There's also the risk of cost pressure. As compliance tightens, organisations face substantial upgrade costs, and FM teams will be expected to manage that transition smoothly. The key for FM providers is to position themselves as the bridge between policy ambition and practical delivery. EPC reform isn't just a compliance exercise, it's a chance to completely modernise the UK's building stock and redefine the value of FM.
How do commercial heating and hot water systems fit into EPC reform, and how can Rinnai support FM teams?
Heating and hot water are major contributors to the building's EPC rating and overall carbon footprint. Under the proposed performance-based EPC model, inefficient and oversized systems will stand out immediately. So things like legacy boilers, storage-based hot water systems, and poorly controlled plant will drag down the rating and make it much harder to reach a C and or a B. This is where Rinnai can really support FM teams, as we can provide a full range of equipment relative to the nuances of any given building. From high efficiency continuous flow hot water systems that eliminate storage, from renewable gas ready equipment and low carbon technologies that future-proof assets, right through to hybrids and staged transition solutions, from hybrid gas, hybrid electric to full heat pump decarbonisation, perfectly aligned with decarbonisation and EPC timelines. We can provide this with full system modelling, CapEx and OpEx modelling, as well as SPF monitoring for carbon reductions. So by upgrading the heating and hot water system with Rinnai solutions, FM teams can deliver immediate improvements in energy usage and carbon intensity, and put buildings on a clear pathway to the future compliance needs of EPCs. So EPC reform is going to reshape the commercial built environment, but it's also clear it's a huge opportunity for FM teams to lead this transition. With the right data, the right technology, and importantly the right partners, we can turn compliance pressure into long-term performance gains.